Well, we did it. The boat is finally at the property and it looks amazing over there.
Having lost almost a year and a half to COVID, we were pedal to the metal now. We designed and had our first building built during COVID. We now have it on the property. Does it ever look and feel amazing? I can't believe it finally happened. 4.5 years after arriving in Belize, Now Playing is finally home. In this video, you will see many new additions, some we talk about and some we don't. Watch for the hearts. These steps are huge in moving us forward toward our dream. We will get there. Back to Belize we go. Chris flew down ahead of me and got to sit in the front seat of that little plane. Flying down the coast and landing in Dangriga always makes us feel like we are home.
Well, back in Canada, we had a lot done. In order for us to finish the dock and get Now Playing home, we needed to have giant concrete piles installed. As you will see in the video, we now have them at the rear of the dock to anchor it, right at the river for a future waterfront deck, and these, which are the waterside edge of the yoga deck. They drill holes with the auger as deep as 30 feet or until they hit something very solid and can't drill anymore, and as they pull back out, cement is poured in. And then they insert a rebar cage for added strength and flexibility. This is the way to do it. We still have a lot to do with the dock, but the first step is to cut out the front post to the right height. Trying to figure out this height was a challenge, and it definitely was a fake it until you make it moment. The river can go up and down 3 to 4 feet, and if the water ever went over the dock, we would have a huge problem. So far, so good.
Well, and look what we have here. I wonder where this is going. Coco Duna's very first rental cabana. It looks really good. We'll finish underneath it with lattice so you can't see under there. And then we'll put gardens around it. All right, this is the first time going in. Watch the door be locked. Oh, it smells new. Yeah, I think this is a good size. But if I stand all the way back, I think it's a good size. I think the bathroom is a good size. I like it. Yeah, I think it's a good size. So I think we could have a bed and a couple nightstands. We can probably have something over here, like a chair or something over here. And then it's definitely big enough to put a table over there. I think I might move that window a little bit forward so the table over there could actually be a little bit more forward. It would create more of a walkway through there, but it's pretty good. So it's like 1 o'clock on Friday. It's a long weekend here. Some of us will be working tomorrow, I think, but there is a potential or the potential of a hurricane hitting Sunday or Monday. It's still a tropical storm, but it's kind of headed right for us. So even though we're like kind of in the middle of everything, we're gonna stop.
The guys did have to stop and clean up very well, as anything that's loose will fly in a hurricane. We tied the floating work dock down and hoped for the best. Still time for a little fun.
Here, we'll do a video for you. It's raining.
Man, did it rain. Some of the docks at the marina had gone completely underwater. I wonder how the property did.
Okay, this is crazy. So I'm driving down the City River Road and you can see how deep the water is. It's bad. Hopefully it gets better in the next stretch.
Well, we definitely flooded. This doesn't happen often, but it does happen. It actually was 6 inches higher than this a few years ago. The good news is this doesn't happen every year. One thing I should add is the worst flooding doesn't occur when the river rises like this from the river front, but it is when the floodwater comes from the back of the property. Sometimes the river just ignores the Bocatura bank and goes right over it.
This sure is a lot of water though. Hopefully my drainage design and culverts do their job. We will definitely see. As I've mentioned before, the river is tidal, and if the floodwaters hit our property as the tide is rising or coming in, it basically creates a wall that the floodwaters have to push against or get over, or they just back up and everything floods. As the tide turns though, the floodwaters typically go with them, and it's almost always like it didn't even happen.
So our raft still here. You can see this property drains really well, except, well, it drains well, but that post used to be piled up over there. So the post started to float away, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, everything just looks like it rained. If it stays sunny, I bet you by like this afternoon, you won't even know that it happened.
Sure enough, it dried up fast and everyone could get back to work, or playing if you're the dogs.
They're on their second row of deck boards. So by the end of today, we should have a whole bunch of deck on there. It's getting there. Lift it up. So that's coming out of the boat. Looks dirty. Running it through this crazy filter system. And we are getting this boat ready to leave and head over to the property. So April of 2018, 4.5 years it's been sitting here. It's dirty, it's neglected, but hopefully I changed the oil and did a service on it, and hopefully that's enough to have us go 10 miles. All I want is 10 miles. All right. Canvas is really dirty, you can't see much, but we are leaving the reserve. And I won't be filming much because I gotta really be watching what this boat's doing.
As always, the boat got us where we needed to go. She brought us 3,800 miles in 2018 and then was completely ignored for 4.5 years. Chris did a basic maintenance, polished the fuel, and she ran like a champ. Bringing her over the bar at the mouth and up the river was emotional. I'm not gonna lie.
Waking up the first morning at the property. We had a little rain last night. Not having power, or I guess power is the main thing. Not having power down here is a problem. So it's gonna be kind of crappy for the guys. We're gonna figure out the best solution before we leave. What an ordeal. We now own 2 boats in Belize. This is our first sort of resort boat. It obviously needs a paint job. It seems like it's a very sturdy boat. The guy we bought it from has a resort on Key Cocker and had someone bring this boat down here. On the way down here, they only put a 25 horse on the back of it, and the motor fell off on the trip and they were stranded out there. So they had to call buddies from Belize City to come and tow them the rest of the way here. And so what an ordeal. But yeah, we're gonna haul it out. We're gonna put an engine on it, paint it, make it all pretty. Now, what I'd like to add is getting the money to them was an absolute nightmare. Jen has spent 2 hours on Western Union, with Western Union, trying to actually get the transactions to work. We had to send 2 transactions because of the amount, and she just now got it to work after 2 hours.
We did it. This is such a huge step in achieving our dream. No more commuting to work, no more marina fees, being able to have our employees keep an eye on her. This entire project is massive and it's going to take over 10 years, and this really feels like we are now past the halfway point. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And for more real-time updates, you can follow us on social media. Bye!